I've been making travel vlogs and talking head videos like this for a while now, and there's one thing that trips me up more often than you'd think. It's not the camera, it's not the lighting, it's the audio. Specifically, ruined audio, especially whenever I go outside to film. Sometimes I'll have shot an entire video outside, only to realize after the fact that my mic wasn't properly connected, or I accidentally had a weird setting enabled, or there was too much background noise, like a leaf blower.
This is Retiro Park. It is an enormous park, at least in terms of the map.
These audio problems are so common that over time, I've put together a small kit of tools and techniques and tips that have genuinely changed how I shoot, and more importantly, how I recover when things go wrong. So today, I'm going to walk you through those tools that I actually use to vlog, including how I fix bad audio after the fact, because I think that's a skill that not enough people talk about. So the first essential tool is your camera. For vlogging, I'm a fan of keeping it small, especially when I'm outside filming in public. So right now, I'm switching between the DJI Pocket 3 and a tiny camera, like the Insta360 Go Ultra. I also always have my iPhone with me whenever I want to grab B-roll or do quick takes that I upload immediately to social media. All of these cameras shoot high-quality video with stabilized footage, and they're also small and easy to use, so I can shoot without thinking too hard, which makes it easier for me to be creative on the go. While all of these cameras have internal microphones, their built-in audio quality really isn't the best. And that's why tool number 2 is important. It's a wireless microphone. Now, sometimes you can take less than ideal audio from your vlog camera, and you can run it through a post-production software like DaVinci Resolve. If you enable something like noise reduction, or in the case of Resolve, it's called AI voice isolation, this can somewhat salvage your audio.
All right, we've made it to Plaza Mayor.
Yeah, looks quite nice. Very spacious. Reminds me of Paris, but different, a little different. And the language, Spanish, reminds me of Italian as well. You know, it's commonality because it's my first time in Spain, and those are the two places I can most kind of liken it to.
But the thing is, it doesn't work all the time, especially if there was wind noise. And it's always better to get your audio right in camera. That's why I recommend having an external microphone to use at your vlog camera. Now, to be transparent, it is an added cost, but it really improves your audio quality. And the latest ones are so compact that they're a no-brainer to use. So my longtime favorite has been the DJI Mic Mini. I use this for everyday vlogging or talking head videos whenever I go outside. And the main reason why I like it so much, besides the size, is the clip. It's built in, so it doesn't detach, and you just clip it to yourself when you go. The main downside to it is that it does not have internal recording, meaning if your connection drops or something goes wrong, the audio in the transmitter itself is not backed up. You just lose it. So the newer DJI Mic 3 solves that problem. It has internal recording built in, which is a really nice safety net. But the clip is detachable, it's magnetic. And I can tell you from experience, I've already lost one. So you're trading one problem for another. So my honest take is that if you're disciplined about keeping track of small parts, and maybe you don't walk or move around a lot when you're filming, the Mic 3 is probably the smarter long-term investment because of that internal recording safety net. But if you're like me, and you tend to move around a lot when you're vlogging, I think the Mic Mini is still the better microphone. But either way, wireless microphones are not foolproof. And that brings me to the tool that has saved me more times than I can count. This video is sponsored by Mono, and I want to talk about their PD200W hybrid microphone because it fits perfectly into what I was just describing. So this is a desktop microphone, but it's something that not a lot of vloggers or content creators think that they need because they already have a wireless mic, right? But I want to change how you think about this. So if I get home after shooting a video outside and as I review the footage, I realize that something's wrong with the audio, like the wireless microphone dropped out or there was too much background noise, what do? I record a voiceover. I might re-record the whole section or just the ruined parts, and I do that, right here from home. As you can see, Alicante is actually quite a big city. We've only seen a small part of it. This old town, part of the Colosseum, down to the beach. Well, the wind kicked up a lot more than I expected. It was a real windstorm. But what I wanted to say is that even though the wind shut our access to the castle down, the hike up was worth it because the views from up there were stunning. And the audio quality of that voiceover makes a huge difference in terms of how seamless the final edit feels. I used to use my built-in audio recorder on my phone or even my DJI wireless mic to do the voiceovers. And while that audio worked, it just wasn't as polished or as seamless as using a dedicated desktop microphone. The Maono PD200W hybrid is different from other desktop mics that I've used because it's a hybrid microphone, which means that it combines wireless freedom with wired level professionalism. You just take a receiver, you get one for your computer that you can plug in via USB-C, or you can even connect it to your camera via the 3.5mm TRS cable, and you wirelessly connect to the microphone. And now you can record with desktop mic quality and zero cables. And that wireless connection is a bigger deal than it sounds for voiceovers. That means that I can move freely. I can pick up my mic, I can lean back, I can adjust my position, and if I go somewhere else, like into my closet to record, which is actually a little trick, then I can do that without worrying about tripping over cables. So one of my actual hacks for recording voiceovers is to film in your closet. Don't mind the mess in here, but the mess is actually what helps your audio quality because the clothing in here, when it's hanging, it is absorbing a lot of the echo. So if you were to film somewhere that's not a closet, here's what it sounds like. This is an audio test using the Maono desktop microphone recording in a large echoey room. This is what it sounds like. Hear the difference? So this trick works no matter what kind of microphone you're using. I've been demoing on the Mono mic, but even if I do my original voiceover trick of using the voice memo app on my iPhone, let's hear what that sounds like inside and outside the closet. This is an audio test using the voice memo recorder on my iPhone, filming in a pretty large echoey room. This is what it sounds like. And this is what it sounds like using the iPhone voice memo app to record a voiceover inside of my closet. Do you hear the audio difference? This microphone is also a dynamic mic, which matters because dynamic mics are better at rejecting background noise than condenser mics. So whether I'm at my desk with ambient sound from outside or recording in less than ideal conditions, it still sounds clean and natural. As an example, here's what it sounds like using the built-in internal microphone on my Sony camera. This is what it sounds like. And here's what it sounds like using a wireless microphone like the DJI Mic 2 to record audio. This is what it sounds like. And here's what it sounds like recording with the Maono PD200W hybrid mic. What do you think? Which one sounds the best? Now the hybrid part means that it's not locked into being wireless. If I want to plug in a USB-C cable, it's just plug and play. There's no drivers and no setup. And if I eventually move to a more professional setup with an audio interface, I can switch to XLR connection and the mic can come with me. This mic is currently going for about $100. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested. So we've talked about the camera and the microphones as key pieces to my vlogging setup. But there's one more important piece. It's a tripod or a camera stand. And this is important whether you're going to be planting your camera and sitting down to record, or walking and talking with your camera on the go. You need a tripod or some way to hold the camera naturally and ergonomically. Now, depending on how big your camera is and how much gear you want to carry, you might want to use a full-size tripod. I've been using this Freewell travel tripod, and I love it for how lightweight and compact it is. Sometimes I'll use also the Ulanzi light stand, which can extend to over 5 feet tall, but more often than not, I am walking and vlogging. And in that case, I use a mini tripod. So I've recently been using this mini tripod by Insta360, and I love it because it is so small when it's compacted. It's about 7 inches, but I can just pull and extend it to 23 inches. It also has these mini tripod legs that are built in, and I just pull and they flip out. So it's much faster to deploy than my old mini tripod. And since the Maono desktop mic is wireless, a mini tripod like this can double as a mic stand when you're recording somewhere other than your desk. You don't have to bring your own dedicated mic stand. It's not the most elegant setup, but in a pinch, it would work. So here's how this all works as an actual system. You grab your camera and your wireless mic, and you go out and you shoot. Then you come home and review the footage. If the audio is good, then great. But if it's not, and at some point it won't be, you come home and you pick up a desktop mic, like this one by Maono, and you record a clean voiceover wirelessly at your desk or in your closet. That's it. None of these tools are super expensive, and none of them require a dedicated studio space or a complicated setup. But together, they give you a workflow that's resilient, where a bad day of audio doesn't mean that you've wasted your time. It just means a slightly longer edit. So if you're newer to vlogging and you're trying to figure out the tools that you need and some tips, hopefully this video helped you out. Let me know in the comments below if you've got any other follow-up questions or other topics that I can do on the subject of cameras and vlogging. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.